Shalom. Jews and Gentiles alike, welcome. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here. Please click the like button. We are about to begin. Yes. This is beautiful. This is very, very beautiful. Thank you for being here. Shalom, brothers and sisters. It is good to be here. Click the like button so the others can get. Oh, pixelated? Ah, man, come on. Over there, probably they are playing with this. Give me a one if you can see me and hear me very well. Some people reported the image is pixelated. Is it, or is it clear? Okay. All right. People can hear me and see me well. Good. All right. Thank you, brethren. Thank you. Pixelated. Oh man. Nah, it's them doing that. Somehow my picture. I mean, if it's pixelated and about like 3 to 5 minutes, it should be clear because they are messing. You know what? Let me cut this. If this is the, it could be that. Cut this too. I don't have anything running. Yeah, it's not clear. Yeah, the sounds is good, but the image is pixelated. But you know, what we need most is the sound. Yeah, it is. So we are going to do our best, and I can see myself clearly. It's them doing that. Yeah. Well, we'll keep on moving. Yeah, that's what they are doing. That's what, because that, I believe that's what they are doing, because they sent me email yesterday. They put one of my videos on age restricted, a video that I uploaded 6 months ago. They put it on age restricted because, and the video I saw, I show old school picture of the Spanish Inquisition, like drawing of the Spanish Inquisition, and also I show a video of a guy in India, and the weather, the most I was turning up the weather, and the weather, the flood took that guy over, and then he took that guy, and he was in the water just dragged him, and they messed up my video. They put it for 18 years or older. So that is good, and it's still up. They haven't strike my channels, and again, like I said it before, if you don't see me upload video, don't do prayers for like a week or two, for a couple of days, or even a week or two, that means I'm in the other channel. They strike this channel down. I already got one strike on it, and then that's why I didn't make any video of certain things that are happening out there. I'm aware of them. Okay, I am aware of a lot of things that's going on. The trial, I'm aware of what happened, and because of the nature of the whole business, we cannot speak freely, because they will tag this channel and put him in a blacklist and say that we're promoting violence. So yeah, scumbag will say this. They say, "Oh, Big Levi is a shapeshifter because you know, some scumbag be making video how I'm a Nephilim. This scumbag is making video how Big Judah, me, and a couple other brothers are shapeshifters and Nephilim, and stuff like that, because they have nothing better to do. The Most High rejected them, so they don't know what to do. They just out there, and then they are doing little videos and looking for some clout. They figured out, like, there's a lot of people I don't roll with. For instance, if you try to take the glory from the Most High and put it on you, it's you, me. I don't deal with you. I don't deal with you. So scumbag will rally those people that rejects, that the Most High doesn't want, and then they will like have them subscribe to their channels. They got like couple of views, like 40, 30 views, and they got like 3 or 4, 5 subscribers, and then that's what they do. They bring you down and lift up themselves. Listen to them, buy their stuff, everything they're saying. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff. I sold this, I sold that. Buy this, buy that. If I was selling things here, brother, I can guarantee you would have never heard of it. I would have never tell you if I'm selling things. You would have heard it from something else, from other people. You would have just find out the product somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, Big Levi, why didn't you tell me?" Because this is not what this is for. I never promoted my other music there, yet I'm selling them. I don't need to sell my music there, any of those things. I got plenty of products that I can make. I don't do this. But nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we are well aware of the situation that's going on out there. And we understand the whole business that's happened. And we understand the Mosiah is in the midst, and he has his hand upon this. So we're not going to comment on that, because this podcast, this is not it. Well, this is not it is about. And we see how a lot of things are happening now. People start questioning because they feel the change, they feel the switch in the air, they feel it in the soul. And as for those people that went to those videos of that fellow Perry Stone, and you start reading their comments, and those people are very moved, they are very dismayed. Okay, okay. Okay, the picture is clear now. That is good. So now what's going on, brethren? We have a massive amount of other people. They are having dreams. And the dreams that they are having, it's not they're not dream at all. They are nightmare. They are not dreams. The dream is not pretty at all. So what's happening, brothers? Usually you cannot, not usually, brothers, you never heard those people in the church tell their dream and stuff like that, because if they do, it's considering, and if they ask the pastor what the dream mean, or if they tell the pastor, it means that it's paganism, or you are practicing some witchcraft. Those people dreams, brothers, they always explain the dream to you, and their dream is nothing that is it's not an enigma. It's not something that is a puzzle to you. The dream is very clear. Their dream, they'll tell you, "Oh, I dream I went to heaven and I see Jesus, and then he told me that he's gonna come back to take all the Christian, and he showed me a bunch of money and stuff." Their dreams are very clear. Those so-called Christian. "Oh, I dream God said, tell me there will be 3 days of darkness," as if YAHAWAH himself, the mighty Lord, talk like that, and then tell you, it's gonna be like 3 days of darkness. Those are Christian making things up. They are making things up. They don't know what to say. You see, now those people are having real dreams, nightmares, and it's frightening them. They don't know what to do. You don't see them online and say, "I had a dream, man. I was working, and then a light come out of the sky and a wall came in. I got inside a warehouse, and then and you heard them say the dream was so confusing. I don't know what it means." You will not only you will never hear that, you will not, as we speak now, you won't hear it, you will never hear that. They're always telling you dreams that they can explain to you. "Oh, I have a dream. I see the coming. I have a dream. I saw Donald Trump has a second term." but they will never tell you they had a dream. They don't know what that means. Most people that have dreams in our nation, they don't know what it means. I don't know everything, but the dream, when they're telling it, many people that are watching, many brethren, they start making connection, many sisters, they're like, okay, we understand what that is, but they can't. Now, those people cannot call us, brothers. They can't call the show and say, I have this dream, because they know it's a bad dream. They want somebody that can take this bad dream and tell him, it's just a dream. It's nothing. It's just, that's what the fellow told him. He said, I mean, it's a dream and the Holy Spirit is still alive and stuff. That guy keep throwing a bunch of things around. Like, what the hell is he saying? What is it? What? The Holy Spirit is still around, and somebody die, and then they shake his leg, and the machine was beeping. That means he was in coma, but the spirit was still in it. It was the Holy Spirit. What? What? What is that? Now those people are having serious nightmare, man. They are having serious nightmare. They cannot tell. You would never find a Christians online telling you, I have a dream. It was so scary and stuff. I don't know what it means. They'll tell you, yes, I have a dream. I see Jesus. I see Jesus give me this, give me that. He tell me the rapture is closer. Da, 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 da. That's when you know they are lying. Anybody that come up and say they have a dream, they saw the rapture, 3 days of darkness, garbage they keep talking about, they don't know what they are saying. Like that other dude that upload a video, yeah, I was talking with the archangel, Uriel, and the archangel, Quavaton. What is his name again? Oh boy, Metatron. Oh, Metatron told him on April the 11th, Jesus going to come, and Metatron saw him like the whole world going to change, and stuff. Metatron opened the earth and something, or light came in, and then all the true people that believe in Jesus Christ, and they're gonna take them on April the 11th. We are now in April the 20th. And this video got over 100, 200,000 or 300,000 views, like probably 91 dislike. Oh, they love that video, brothers. Oh, yes, Metatron. Oh, it's coming. This guy. Oh, I use Crystal. I communicate with Metatron. Somebody sent me the video. The person was like laughing and said, Big Leo, look at them. They're all losing their freaking mind. And when I checked the video, I'm like, what? That was like, they sent me this video on like the 8th or the 9th. It's like 3 days later. Okay, all right. There's nothing going on. Okay, what's happening? But it will happen, though. It will happen. Wait. I know Metatron tell me it was supposed to happen April the 11th, but I think he meant next April or somehow this May. Garbage. Those people like garbage. Don't watch their stuff, brothers. They will disturb your peace. They will disturb your mind, because they don't know what they are saying. All their dreams, again, you will never see any Christian upload a dream and say, last night I have the strangest dream. I dream I was working in a garden, and all of a sudden the garden turned into ashes, and I wake up. I don't know what this dream means. You want to hear them saying anything like that. They'll say, oh, I had that dream. I saw Jesus, and he shook my hand and give me a bunch of money. That's what they will say. Okay? They will never admit it, like they had a dream they cannot explain. That's why the dream, brothers, they are having, they can't explain it. And then now they're going to this guy and asking, can you explain this dream? He doesn't know what it means. Remember when the king had the dream, they could not, all the wise men and soothsayer, none of them could explain it except for Joseph. And the king was well aware of that. They give the king a bunch of backward interpretation. He's telling them, no, that's not what it means. He knows that. All right. Now, brethren, this book is getting better and better and better. I am in chapter 20. No. I'm in letter 20, page probably 200 and I'm in letter 19, page 231. I got this much to go myself, and then we are here. And today, brothers, we are going to study the burial ritual, the Egyptian burial ritual, and the punishment aftermath. What do they believe? What happened to you? Listen, especially Christian, they believe if you die a Christian, you go to heaven automatically. They believe if you are a Christian, if you've been a scumbag all your life, and at your deathbed, and then you look at you see the angels, you see two angels came in, an angel of light and an angel of darkness, and they tell you it's time. Say your last word. And your last word, you look at your family, you say, hey, I give my life to the Lord Jesus Christ. And then you die. And then pastor will say, hey, he's going to heaven because before he died, he said he gave his life to the Lord Jesus Christ. That means he's going to heaven. They believe whatever you do in life, you don't have to repent for none of that. Jesus is already repenting for you. Just say you believe in him. By saying you believe in him, you accept him, and then you're going to go. That's a clear path to go to heaven, because that's their whole thing, going to heaven, going inherit the kingdom. Those people think they can jump from one heaven to the other. This blessing was your heaven, and then you want to get ours too. So the Egyptian have a very different thing, a very different thought, a very different philosophy. When you die, what's happening? But anyway, let me take that thing off. We got a new headphone, which is good when people are calling. We are going to get things done with them. Now, brethren, we are going to study the Egyptians, the way they do their funerals, the rites, and can anybody or everybody can be buried? Can you be buried if you do something? This is Sesostris, the prince of Phoenicia, is writing to his mother, Epithia, the queen of Phoenicia. And this is what he said to his mother. Excuse me. Dear mother, he's in the city of Memphis. Now we know Memphis is the capital city of the government, and On is the capital city of the religious capital city of Egypt. Dearest mother, this is page 178. Your last letter assuring me of your health and that of the princess Tamonda I received by the chief pilot a notice, who is the new and handsome galley reached the head of the delta 2 days ago. Thence he came here in his boat, his ship being too large and the present depth of the water to come up to Memphis. I will now continue the description of the funeral of the Lord of the Warrior Garden. So in the last chapter, brethren, we left where the people were describing the funeral of the Egyptians. And we saw Amram, aka Moses' father. Amram went to the funeral with 4 or 5 Hebrew men or women, and we know his master died, his Lord died, so he had one of those magnificent funerals. And we know, and now in an Egyptian funeral, they hired professional mourners. Those people are women. They will come if you pay them. They will come to your funeral bare breasts, and they will beat their breasts and scream and cry for the death. When you have a funeral, there's a lot of people mourning. That means the funeral the person that died was like not only a good person, but he was beloved by a lot of people. He was pretty good. People will say, look at how many people they have mourning for this guy. They even have hired, mourners. So, and then the funeral is so complicated, brothers. They have goats, they have bulls, they have geese, things they have to sacrifice when they get there. And there's three type of funeral. There's the first funeral, brothers, and then we are on page 178 in the book. There are three types of funeral. The first funeral, they have most people cannot afford that. This is like for the ultra rich. It's a Osiris funeral. They will embalm your body, mummified with spice and all that. Even thousands of years later, they dig your body out. They can still smell the perfume. Your body won't rot away. That's the best funeral. The second is they can just put your body in a normal thing and then they bury you. The third is they can cremate your body, burn your body. This is like the worst. And then the fourth is, which the Hebrew has it, and they just dig a hole and put you with no tomb, nothing, no ceremony. They just drop you in the tomb. Remember, Tobit was he was when it was at Nineveh, and the king ordered any Israelites, men, women that got killed, children, do not bury them. They will pile up their bodies in the street. And Tobit was looking at that. He didn't like this. And he prayed the Messiah every night. He dressed like a superhero. Tobit was known as the first grave digger. He was a grave digger superhero. He would have gone at night dressing in black. He would have dig holes and buried those bodies. And in the morning, when the soldiers wake up, they find the streets are clean. There's no dead bodies in there. And they could not find out who was doing this because Tobit was fast and he was very clever. Now, we understand the Hebrews back then, they did not have any money to bury their people. They gave them a burial place which is next to the living place. And the burial place, you see mounds after mounds after mounds. They could not even dig a hole. They just put somebody there and they put a pile of dirt on top of it. And then some type of well, they will just sometimes they will just left the person under the yoke, that under that heavy burden he was transporting, and the person was the person was transporting, and then the yoke become too heavy, the person fall, and then the person die, and they would leave him there. Birds and animals will eat their flesh. So now they are going to give descriptions of the funeral. Okay, so this is a funeral of a rich man right there, or rich person. I will now continue the description of the funeral of the Lord of the Warrior Gardens. Okay, that guy, the Amram master, he was Amram Lord. When the procession reached the steps leading down to the sacred lake, the hearse was borne upon a gilded and carved barris. The consecrated boat for the dead, this was secure to decorate galley with sails and oars and spacious cabin, richly painted with funeral emblems. So the hearse that they have, it's like this hearse that this man have was a specific hearse that he, before he died, he had made it for him. Once the funeral is done, they will just break the hearse, burn it, or just like sell it, because it wasn't a used hearse. This hearse was made specifically for him. So there is a lot of crap going on, brothers, and it's like a whole chapter describing this thing. It's just way too much, and then things like that. So they have this beautiful funeral, and it is starting in one place. Now they have the procession. They have musician in the front. They have, and behind the musician we have two boys. One of them have a goat. One of them have a bull, and then another one I believe have a goose. And you got one of the little boy dropping flowers like a wedding, or so to speak. And then the funeral, the procession is moving. This is page 179. This noble thoroughfare As we drove slowly along that I might admire its grandeur and beauty, was thronged with people going to and coming from the city. Now, because it's a funeral, brothers, and you got a bunch of people going in and out of the city, but the funeral was separate in one side, and they are moving, quote unquote, to the burial place, to the cemetery. They are walking there. They are going from the church, so to speak, the temple, and they are going there. There were possessions returning from having disposing their dead, and one of the many tombs which covered the vast plain, possessions of the humbler orders, but few signs of display and wealth proceeding with real mourners to the tomb. Now, why he specify, brothers, real mourners? He said when they were coming back, they noticed that there are other people that came back from buried their dead, but their funeral is not as rich as it was of the guy that owned Amram, aka Moses' father, and they have real mourners. Those people were not acting up. They were not hired mourners. Why? Because this person that died could not afford mourners, and because the funeral was a simple funeral, and the people, they were poor. They could not. Only like rich people can afford, paying people to go cry in the funeral. They do that. They like, when I die, hire 10,000 mourners to come mourn me. And then when people see a bunch of people, 10,000 people coming over there crying, they have no idea who died. Sometimes they thought it's a woman, but then a man died. Sometimes they thought it's a man, it's a woman. Sometimes they thought it's somebody, a human being, it turned out to be a freaking cat. Those are mourners. They are mourning and crying. When you ask them, who's the name of the disease? They're like, I don't know, man. They just pay me to be here and cry and beat my breast. They were women. So anyway, yeah, you see a bunch of garbage, man. Like you're like, okay, there's no difference between what was going on back then, and now it's people always faking things. They're always faking love and faking stuff. So there were groups of children, their hands filled with garlands, going to place upon the sarcophagus, of a departed parent, for the custom of decorating the resting place of the dead with the wreath of often renewal belongs to Egypt as well as Syria. So they were putting flowers on the coffin. We overtook a rich lady and a gilded palanquin, borne on the shoulders of four slaves. She was opulently, define that word, opulently. She was opulently, opulently, opulently and handsomely attired, and carried a blue and green fan, while an attendant walked behind and held over her head a large parasol. Parasol is another word for umbrella. So you got those rich people, they're going to, brothers, when those people going to funeral, the funeral, they made you know I'm going to a freaking funeral. And all eyes on me. So let me see. Okay, richly and exquisitely dressed, possessing or exhibiting great wealth, affluent, characterized by extravagance of rich abundance, lavish or luxuriant, opulent costume. Brothers, you heard the term overdressed. She dressed like, hey, look at me. Look at me. I am mourning. Look at me. It's just like, brethren, it's no difference in the same crap they have going on today. She overdressed, super dressed, have a slave wearing a giant scarf around her neck and crying and faking and stuff like that. 2 chariots containing young Egyptian lords dashed by us at full speed in the excitement of a race, each driving his own ornament car, the charioteer standing at a little in the rear. People selling little images of gods. The same. Remember that guy? Remember that guy that was selling the little images of God. Remember that guy said? Can anybody type what that guy said when Ramesses and Sesostris just came out of the temple? What was the quote that guy said? That scumbag that was selling gods statues. All right, thank you, beloved sister Lauren. That scumbag opened his mouth and say he will never get there. Now, besides the guy that break white Jesus both hand, I got another favorite scumbag. He will never get there. So you got the same scumbag dude that was selling over there. That guy is pretty much everywhere. He's selling images of God. He's selling God. So um uh people are selling gods or eminent deceased person or fruit or flowers or scarabei and amulets were seated all along the highway. It was a flea market, brothers. Upon scarabei and amulet were seated along the highway, upon pedestals or in the shades of statues and tombs, while along the wall walked sellers of vegetables and fowls and bread. Indeed, the way was crowded with life and activity. So, brothers, what happened here? When there is a funeral, you got all of those people. You got the scumbag that's selling gods, the one that's selling food, vegetable. It was like a giant flea market, a giant open air market. So now, when the people are going to bury the dead, they will buy stuff to bury the dead with, and they will buy little pictures and images of gods and stuff like that so they can bury it. Yeah, it was like a freaking carnival, man. The Egyptians say that the house is but the temporal abode of a man, but in the tombs his embalmed body dwells forever. That's a great quote right there. The Egyptians say that the house is but the temporary abode of men, but in the tombs his embalmed body dwells forever, which is true. That is why, brothers, in the Egyptian culture, the house is only used to sleep in. Those people spent 99.99% of their time outdoors, partying, going to banquet, going to festival, going to funeral, beat their bare breast, overdress for any little thing they overdress. They got another thing going on. We'll find it in the other chapter. You like, oh my Lord. This is the same thing that happening today. Overdress for any little thing. This dude going to a freaking dinner. He's getting out of his house to go to a dinner in his own house. He overdressed, so much gold. He bring a freaking lion with him. Like, yo, what is this? As that guy going to Walmart, he bring a freaking limousine, go shopping at Walmart. Why, my guy? Why? Why you bring a limo here? It's just like crazy. Let us therefore decorate our tombs with paintings and art and fill them with flowers and adorn the homes which are too permanent. Hence, the dead life of the sepulchres is not less a reality of the Egyptians than his life in the city. The poor, however, do not find tombs. Poor people cannot be buried in tombs. Tombs. They don't have that much money. They can't. They are buried in graves or pits like the Hebrew people. If you were poor, funeral is something that costs some brothers. Funeral is so costly back then. A funeral of a freaking beast, a freaking bull, costs the priest give 100 talents of gold. I don't know how much that is, 100 talents of gold. Moeris, the scumbag, come out of nowhere. He gave 50 talents of gold to bury a bull, which they consider that bull was their gods. I don't know what 150 talents of gold is in money. If somebody can put that, I will be grateful to know how much money it is to bury the freaking bull. A bull that you can just keep the bull, you kill it, you eat the meat, and you're good. But no, they have to bury it for 150 talents of gold. Oh, oh, oh. All right. On the other side of the river lies the most ancient burials of Memphis. But since the constructions of the Lake of the Dead is no longer necessary to cross the Nile, for the dead must be ferried across water for interment. Now, because, let me see, because the dead must be on the water, they must float the dead on the water first. And then they have to put it in a chariot and then do a bunch of nonsense with it and stuff like that. There was an ancient burial ground on the other side of the river. They don't use that anymore. Remember in the previous chapter we said they cut through it, they cut a road, they cut a canal, and they can float the body there in those beautiful coffin and stuff like that. As we drove on, we came to a stately sepulchre before which was gathered a large multitude. There was a lot of people there. And they're witnessing something very interesting, brothers. They find a funeral, a large people there. The coffin has just been removed from a gorgeous hearse and set down upon the step of the tomb. It was the funeral of a lady. Okay? It was a funeral of unknown women. I never saw any painting so rich and as which adorned the mummy case. It was an Osirian coffin and cover in every part of with column and hieroglyphics or emblematic figures, among which were representing the winged serpent, the ibis or ibis, the cynocephalus or the guinea of Amenth, and the scar bears. So that's a rich person funeral, because it was said this funeral was Osirian. It's an Osiris funeral, the highest, the top one. Let's see what happened, brothers. Those people didn't play back then. The hieroglyphic said, my companion, contains the name of quality of the deceased. So now we understand those people coffin, and in your own coffin, they will write your qualities. They will write who you were, like your characteristics. If you are a narcissist, they'll put straight up, this guy was a narcissist. If you are like a very calm person, they will put calm, as a pool water. Or if you are fierce somebody that is evil and stuff, they will write that in your coffin, which every emblems and symbols signify some type of thing, and they will put it right there in your coffin. At this moment, an official, partly in priestly dress, advanced in imposing manner, touched the coffin with the wand, and said aloud, approve! Let the good be entombed, and may their souls dwell in Amenthi with Osiris. Judgment is passed in her favor. Let her be buried. Now, you could not be buried like that, brothers. That is why a lot of people could not be buried in tombs. They had to just dump the body somewhere. When they went and buried this person, there's a general there, there's a guy there, well dressed, and then he has a wand in his hand. Again, when we say wand, brethren, we mean a short stick, a short staff. Most Egyptian carry those guys carry so many scumbag stuff. They carry a wand, they carry a cane, and then they carry a freaking dog with them, like a lion, a leopard, like some nonsense. So this officer will stand there, and then he will look at the people, he will look at the paperwork, and then he will touch the coffin with the wand, and it says approve. If it is approved, let the dead be buried. Let it be in peace. Upon hearing this address, I asked the high priest, what it signified? He replied with that courtesy which has always distinguished his replies to my numerous questions. So Sesostris saw that. He said, what that mean? This act as reference to the judgment of Osiris. We did not witness a similar ceremony at the lake because the deceased was brought from on and had already been judged at the crossing of the Nile. If we had sooner seen this funeral procession, which come only from the city of the lake, we should have behold 42 just persons chosen as judges sitting upon a semicircular stone bench along the shore. So because this person died in On, they brought her body to Memphis to bury it over there. Usually, if it wasn't On, they will have 42 judges sitting there judging this person before that person get buried. How the hell are you gonna judge a dead person? Oh, you'll find out, brothers. They'll judge you when you die. The Egyptian will judge you. Seated upon them, the 42 judges await the processions. The baris or gilded galley, which is to receive the body, is then drawn alongside of the steps. Before it to bear its top and turning on the judges, resting the burden in the ground before them. Then, while all the friends stands anxiously around and 100s of spectators line the shores, on the judges rise, and as if any present can lawfully accuse the deceased of having done wrong to any man. Oh boy. If the dead has done injustice or evil, his enemy or the one wrong of their relative advance and make the charge. The judges wait the accusation, and if it does sustain, the rights of sepulchre are coming not to proceed. Now the 42 judges stand there, and then one of them's coming and said, "Is there anybody here that want to accuse the dead? Any one of you here that this person did wrong?" Now, you got a bunch of people there. Their families are anxious. Their families are biting their nails. Because if somebody come up, that person say, yes, she did me wrong. And then they will ask for another witness and proof. If they brought another witness and proof, you cannot be buried. When the judges ask, anybody here that has a complaint against this dead body, come forward, let us know. And then somebody step up. One dude said, I accuse her. And they say, why do you accuse her? I accuse the deceased of suffering her parent to perish in want. What? The guy said, I accuse the deceased in front of all the 42 judges. He accused the deceased of the death of wanting the death of their parents. That means this woman wanted her parents to die. A lot of children are like that. A lot of, well, not a lot. Most rich folks are like that. When they're about to inherit wealth, brothers, they want their parents to die so quick. When they are sick, they won't do anything for them. They will just shove them in a what they call those places, or they put senior citizen, very old people. Oh boy, a senior place, a retirement place, and never seen them again. They will do everything in their power to avoid taking care of their parents so they can die quickly because their parents are a burden to them. A nursing home, thank you. Boy, I'm doing very bad tonight. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm thinking about that salad, but anyway. Yes. Those children want their parents die. They won't do anything to somewhat interfere or help the health of these parents. They want this person die, whether it's for the inheritance or the insurance money. Those kids cannot wait until their parents is gone. Parents are a burden to them. They won't take care of the moms. They won't take care of their father and stuff. And this woman is being accused of this crime. This is a very serious crime, man. According to the Egyptians, this is a very serious crime. This is a great crime by our laws, said the judge sternly. For though sons are not bound to provide for poor parents, daughters are. This she knew and was able to do it. Where are the proof? The judges said, this is a great crime by our law. Although men are not bound to this law, men are not supposed to stay home and taking care of their parents. That's in their culture. It is up for the women to be there as a mother and, nurture her parents, both mothers and fathers, to back to health until they die of natural cause or something happen. These women neglect their parents. He let them alone and they die in solitude. And he said, if it is true, where are the proof? Three persons come forward and bore testimony to the fact. The deceased is not worthy to pass the lake of the dead. The burial is prohibited. Now, because three people, three witnesses came in, plus that fourth of them. And then that person say, yes, she was a scumbag to her mother. She was a scumbag to her father. She didn't want to take care of them. She let them die. And then two other person coming. Now you got four witnesses. Well, you dead. You cannot plead with that. You died. So all the family, remember that lady that dressed overly dressed, all those ceremony, all that money that you spend, you're going to have to go home, man. Everybody tell you can't be buried here. You are a horrible person. And then they took that body home. Hereupon there was a great cry of woe on the part of the modified relation. There was a tumult. People start crying. That nowadays, the people that paid the hired mourners just chill because their job is done. They just sit there watching. Now people start rolling over and crying for real now. Now this is real because your dead cannot be buried. Now people are crying for real. Hereupon there was a great cry of woes on the part of the modified relationship, and the mummy, without being permitted to enter the sacred burials, was retaken to the city, where in a shrine in the house it will remain above ground for 5. What? Nobody handing with it. Above ground for years, until finally, after certain ceremonies, it is permitted to the ignominiously entombed in the sepulchre of the evil. All the cry, people start rolling over, and then people are fainting, people are passing out, people are crying. They had to take this dead body back in the city and put it somewhere for years. They have to do ceremonial for years. After that, all ceremonial for years, and they're going to take that dead body and bury it in the cemetery for evil. They will bury you in a cemetery of evil. H got real, man. You cannot be buried with the good because you were scumbag to your mother. You were scumbag to your father. This accusation and judgment, dear mother, is a striking illustration of the veneration and respect children are expected to pay their parents. Now, on the other hand, if you come, you accuse a dead of something wrong, like one dude came in. He said something about somebody that was dead. And then they said, if it is, show the proof. He could not show it. Now, brethren, they have thousands of people there, and you accuse the dead. You cannot prove it. Oh, they took that fellow. You know those Egyptian scumbag. They don't play that. They kill. Remember what they did to that guy that accidentally killed a cat? They stampeded that guy to death. They made his body into a mashed pulp of piss. They walk over him. They beat him to death. Oh, that dude could not provide the evidence. They stone his ass to death. The family, friends, everybody that was at the funeral, even the scumbag that was selling the images of God, they stoned that fool. They just stone his ass because this is a great accusation. He didn't have any proof. Most likely one of those guys that buried some gorges that didn't want the dead to be buried. So he accused it. He could not produce the proof. Oh, they stone his ass to death. The whole congregation run after this dude. They beat his ass to death and they kill him. Well, I'm not quite sure. Did they kill him? Yeah, on the other hand, if the accusation is not sustained, the accuser are stoned away by the friends. Yeah, they stone his ass and then he run away. They give an account and stuff like that. Yeah. So if you cannot pull, you gotta be very careful. Oh, you gotta be very, very careful when you accuse a dead person. What if what I asked of my companion, the high priest, is the state of the deceased soul after death? So he asked the high priest, what happened to the deceased when you die? Now, brothers, again, I really don't want to go into this, but this is their belief. I am not full disclosure and full disclaimer. I am not preaching. This is exactly what that is. This is what they believe back in this time. Okay, this is what the Egyptians did believe. Okay, he said he asked the high priest because everybody got their own belief. He asked the high priest, say, then what happened to the soul of the people that die here? What will happen to them? That, oh prince, said he, he's one of the mysteries. But as you have been initiated into the knowledge of the mystic books in your own land, I will explain to you what our books of the dead teach. We priests of Apis do not believe with those of Osiris at On. There's something not wrong, but different. The priests of Apis do not believe what the guys at On preach. And he said, since such is then if you don't believe those guy over that On, what is your faith? And he said that the soul of man is immortal, which we all believe. Back then it was a universal belief. Every culture know soul cannot die except for Christian. They know when you die you go to heaven. That's what that is. When you're a non-Christian go to hell, a Christian go to heaven. That's what they believe. That the soul of man is immortal, which we all believe. He had it positively. That when the body decays, the soul enters into and is born in the form of a lower animals. And when he has gone to round off the bodies in all terrestrials and marine animals and all the flying creatures, and enter again the body of an infant at his birth. So those guys of at peace, they believe when you die, your soul is immortal. But before your soul come back to a human being, it has to go to the lowest animal. Okay? The lowest animal in the sea, like a shrimp, like a crab. And then it will pass to a dolphin. It will pass to all those animals. When that animal died, if it was a shrimp, the shrimp died, transferred to a crab, the crab died, transferred to a squid, squid died, this to a whale. And then when the whale died, if all the animals in the sea is done, then your soul will move to the flying animals. And you go to a oh yeah, oh, sea cucumber, disgusting. I don't even know why. This is a delicatessen. Sea cucumber is like a luxury food and stuff. This thing is disgusting. And then your soul from the sea, it will go from the animals that fly, the fowl, like a vulture, a buzzard, any low animal flying, then the eagle and stuff like that, then clean bird. Then after that, it will go to a freaking pig, the lowest form. And then after a pig, it will go to like to a cow, to this, to that, then a monkey, then after that, to a baby. This process, it is said, take at least 10,000 years. I don't know. That's what they say. Thousands of years, I believe. Yeah, this is pretty disgusting. Yeah. Possibly in this belief, I remark, is found the reason for preserving the human body as long as possible by embalming it to keep it off the transmigration of the soul into a brute as long as possible. Without a doubt, he replied, embalming the dead grew out of the doctrine of transmigration of souls. The circuits performed by a soul in this series of inhabitation of the form of animal is 3,000 years in duration. Okay? The circle it takes for the soul to go all those through animal. The animal in the sea, I think, take 1,000 years. The animal in the air took another 1,000, and the animal in the land took another 1,000. So it took you 3,000 years of hell. All praises to the Most High. It took you 3,000 years of hell, and then to come back in a baby's body to experiencing more hell until you learn your lesson. That is if you're messed up, though. If you're one of those messed up dude. But if you're a good person, you're gonna go to Osiris and he's gonna take you straight to heaven. You know, but if you're one of those scumbags, you're gonna spend 3,000 years of hell going back and forth in animal's body and getting killed and all that. And you remember all of it. And then you're gonna come back in a human body to have, you know, oh man, it's just crazy. So such is the belief of the priests of the sun. That was their belief. This transmigration is not connected either with reward or punishment, but it is a necessary of creation and stuff. So, and then the dude asks, what is the tribunal of Osiris? So now, this is the tribunal of Osiris. If you go in front of Osiris, this is what happened. Remind us, brothers, at 10 o'clock, we're going to take a little break and stuff. The dead carry with them to the tomb a papyrus, in which is written their address to the gods and the deeds which entitle them to admission into heaven. So, when you die, they wrote a little paper, all your deeds, and they wrote what you want to tell the gods that could get you in heaven. When the soul leaves the grave, it is received by Horus, son of Osiris. So now they say, this is another version saying, when your soul leaves, it met with YAHAWAH, Jesus Christ, before it met God, YAHAWAH himself, and conduct to the gates of Amenfi. or the regions of the gods. At the entrance, a dog with 4 heads of the wolf, lion, serpent, and bear. So now, when Osiris take you for judgment and you get into the gate, there's a giant dog there, a titan dog, a dog that is the size of a mountain. It has 4 heads: the head of a wolf, the head of a bear, the head of a snake, and the head of a wolf, lion, the head of a wolf, the head of a lion, the head of a serpent, and a bear. And this dog keep guard of the entrance. Brothers, this is connected to that book that I'm reading here. It says all those places that the Most High buried things for us, they are guarded. They are guarded by certain beings, certain things the Most High put there, pets that you really don't want to play with the Most High pets. This is one of the Most High pets: a giant dog with 4 heads, a head of a lion, a head of a serpent, a head of a wolf, and a head of a bear. Scary stuff. Near the gate, which is called the gate of truth, sits the goddess of justice with a gigantic scale of gold between her and the gate of truth. So now between the gate, then you got the goddess of justice, like the so-called, well, that the US have it. You got Lady Justice standing there with a freaking scale in her hand, the scale of truth, or the gate of truth. Hard by sit the god Thoth. Okay, we know Thoth being old man Enoch. So, and Thoth is there, the god of wisdom, with a tablet and stylus. So, which is Peter. We know him as Peter. So, he has Thoth is there coming, and then you're gonna receive your judgment. He's gonna write it down. The scales are superintended by the deity Anubis, which is one of my favorite deity, Egyptian deity, because as a kid I used to play a game, and Anubis was the most powerful. He was like a man with a dog head, so I usually like Anubis. Anubis, through the open gate, the throne of Osiris is visible with the deity upon it. As Osiris advanced with the soul of the gate of truth, as if to enter, the goddess of justice commands him to stop, that the son of its deeds, both good and evil, may be weighted and recorded. The reason, the head of a jackal. The reason, now, when Osiris bred the body, the god of justice stopped him. He said, let everything that this man does, we're going to weight it. I am going to weight it, and Thoth going to write it down in the papyrus. Anubis then placed a vase containing all the human virtue in one scale. So in a vase, they put all your virtue, if you have. They put in one vase, and then they put it in one scale. And the heart of the deceased, or sometimes the soul itself, and the other. So they put all your virtue, all the things that you've done, all that virtue thing, they put it in one vase, and then they put it on one scale, and then they take your heart and they put it on the other. Horus repeats the result, which the god Thoth inscribed upon the iron tablet. So Horus said the result, and then Thoth is recording it. The dog watches the issue of the waiting with eyes red with furious longing to devour the soul. So that dog is sitting there, watching and waiting for the judgment. If the sum of its good deeds predominates, or is taking it by one hand, and the tablet of Thoth and the other, advances into the hall where his father Osiris is seated upon the throne, holding his crook and flagellum, and awaited the report from the hand of his son. So now, If your deeds that you do outweigh your heart is lighter, the deed is a bunch of good stuff, then Osiris will take your hand, and then Osiris will take your hand and will bring you. Horus will take your hand and bring you to Osiris. Technically, they say YAHAWAH will take your hand and bring you to YAHAWAH. That is if your deed is good. They approach the throne between 4 genii or geni of Amenth and come before 3 deities who sit in front of the throne. These ask if there has been weighted, and Horus exhibit to each the tablet of Thoth. So those 3 deities, they ask you, okay, if this man been weighted, then you take the tablet of Thoth that has the record in it, and then you bring it to them. They didn't permit him to pass. Horus now stands before Osiris with the soul by his side and present the tablet, which the deity takes from the son's hand. If satisfied by an inspection of the tablet, which record not only the virtue by every error of the soul of life on earth, Osiris present him with all an ostrich feather, which is the emblem of truth. One of the 3 deities then gives him a vase containing all the virtue, his few sins being pardoned. A second offers him a jewelry band for the forehead, in which he inscribed in diamond the word justified. And the third present him with the emblem of life. He is now received by Isis and conduct through gates of gold and open with divine music, and enters into a scene of celestial beauty and splendor. Palaces of the gods become his abode. He reposed by the heavenly rivers of crystal beauty, wanders through the fields of delight, and dwells with the Lord of the sun and all the immortal gods in glory ineffable and endless. Damn! Woo! Wow! Brothers, they said here, if the weight in the heart and the deeds is good, they will take you and then they will brought you inside. But before you get there, there's 3 deities. One of them will give you like a chain or a golden thing that say justify, so you are approved. The second give you let me see what the second forehead, in which is called justified. The third presents him in the emblem of life. And then now they open the gate for you with music, and then you're going to sit by the river. You're going to enjoy the heavens and stuff for endless of time. Beautiful. Just enjoy yourself being in Abraham's bosom and stuff like that. There's a similar account in the book of Peter. Okay, the Apocalypse of Peter. Okay, when Peter saw this dead man, he saw what happened to those 2 dead men, the rich man, Lazarus, and the other, the rich man and Lazarus. He saw what happened. Then the Arak say all this great animation and like a man who believes what he utters. I was deeply interested. So the dude made all those stuff come back alive. Then Sesosius got killed. He said, and what, my lord, priest, becomes of the soul which cannot meet the scales of justice with confidence, whose evil deeds outweigh his good ones? Now, Sesosius said, but what happened to the soul that did so much scumbag stuff? What do they do to them then? Such a soul does not see Osiris. Say such a soul. In another word, he says this soul don't even see the Most High, nor the Father heavens, where he dwells, illuminated by the glory of the divine disk of the Lord of the Sun. The reprobate spirit does not belong the eyes of Osiris, for you Christian out there, nor repose in pure light. It is not manifested to the sacred deity to the inner heavens, nor does hear the voice of the great God saying, Thou art justified. O soul, enter thou the gate of truth. He said those souls don't even get close there. They will not hear the Most High say, You are justified, get in. They won't even get that. The Most High won't even see them. In another word, that's what they said. If the soul is all wicked, with no virtues, then Osiris releases his hand from aura, and the dog devours the wretched being in a moment. But if he had one or two virtues, such as honoring his parents, having saved a human life, or fed the hungry, then he is not given over the monster, but Osiris, with a sad aspect, leads him to the throne of Osiris, who, reading the dark tablet of Thoth, sternly incline his scepter in token of condemnation and pronounce judgment upon his according to his sin. When Horus leave him, two evil gods from the realm of Typhon appear and led him forth. What is the punishment ordained? To be led back to the gates of truth and delivered to justice, who without a head sit therein. The goddess sealed the sentence of Osiris upon the forehead of the unclean soul, and instantly is assumed the form of a pig or some other baseless animal. The god Thoth then calls up two monkeys who take the condemned soul to a boat, then ferrying it back to the wall where the bridge by it came in the earth. It cuts down by Anubis in the form of a man with an axe. So, if the soul is all evil, like a wretched man, like a slave master, the dog will just devour your soul. And brothers, when they mean by the dog will just devour your soul and stuff, they told you the soul cannot be dead. The soul is immortal. You're gonna be in eternal torment, pain, eternal massive pain. You will feel every single bite of this dog eternally. But if you did a few good deeds in your life, you were not a complete scumbag like Big Levi. You did a few good stuff, and then they will take you. They will bring you to the Most High, and the Most High will look at you and say, all right, you need to learn a lesson. And then they will strike something upon you, and then you will turn into a pig. They will send you back. So a pig is naturally the garbage, the trash can of the world, the natural garbage. So you will eat a lot of trash. You'll go to you'll eat a lot of garbage, and then you suffer until your soul come back into a man. And then this time you will try to do better until you come back clean again. If you're not coming back clean, they're going to keep sending you doing this whole thing until you come back clean. That's what it is. So, yeah. All right. So they get there. So that's the belief of the Egyptian ritual, and after those are the guy of On, the guy of those are the guy of Apis. The priest of On got another thing. The Memphis got another thing. The Nenephis got another thing. It's just so many things. All right. Okay. So and now, brothers, he's moving to go see the pyramids. Let me see how long we are. Are we almost done? Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop there because I'm going to stop in this page. I'm going to skip that page because it's all about description and stuff. He already made those description. Okay. Let me see. All right, they are passing. They are passing. They are going to see the pyramids. All right, they're going to see the pyramids now. And one thing that is very, very interesting, brothers, this is what they say about the pyramid. This is page 189. Our gradual approach and this descent, during which the Sphinx was kept constantly in view, rising above us as we descend in height, impression first made upon me by a colossal size, and I beheld with new emotion of sublimity its posture, repose, and calmly majestic aspect. So he saw the Sphinx. There are so many Sphinxes back then. So he saw the Sphinxes. So a priest in full costume of his sacred office stood at the door. So they saw one of those priests at the temple door. And preceded by him, we enter, as if it was the hour of oblation. He held a censer in his hand, and approaching an altar before a granite tablet at the end of the temple, he invoked the mysterious God. The temple has no roof, but it is exquisitely decorated and painted with sacred symbols. On each side, standing a tablet of limestone. The other, over the altar, is inscribed with the name of the designer of the Sphinx, Manasseh, the first mortal king, after the general overthrow the mountain, and also with the destruction of the gigantic gods by the uprising of unknown ocean upon the globe. So they are talking about the flood here. So they went to these temple, and then they saw tablets that are recording events, and then they say the earth was destroyed by a gigantic ocean that was sent by an unknown god. The tablet holds his shield and his pictures the escape of the son of the ancient gods in a ship. Anybody tell me who that is? Anybody can tell me the name of the gods that escaped with these three sons in a ship? They look at those guys, they were gods, okay? The tablet holds his shield, and on is pictured the escape of the son of the ancient gods in a ship, okay? Which is resting upon a mountain peak. Who is these gods? They are talking about those gods that escaped with three sons and stuff like that. And this tradition, mother, we find repeated our Phoenician history of the flood before the days of the first kings. Without doubt, all nations retain a similar tradition. Upon the same tablet is also representing a later king offering incense and libation. Okay, thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Consecrated. The tablet is also the side representing the kings offering prayer to the god. The flow is beautiful, things like that. So they are talking about Noah there. Remember, brothers, and this the Egyptian got books. They said before the flood, the size of men were gigantic. They were so tall. The men were considering Noah was a giant, as we all know. His three sons were giant men. But that time, what they used to call giant were actually titans. The titans were a hell of a lot bigger and taller. So now their story tell about those gods that landed, that's passed. They survive in a ship, and then those gods came down there, and the Lord, the bigger god, they say Osiris, cut the life of men to 100 years, maximum to somewhere around 100 years. Men cannot live past 100, like 150, 170. Well, up to, they cannot reach 200. It's either 100 or less, or a little bit more than 100. And he said back then they used to live at least 1,000 years. Even the books that were reading here called the Smoky Gods, when that guy went inside of the earth and the inner world, for those of you who watch the movie King Kong versus Godzilla, where King Kong stay at is inside of the inner earth. And here men they live somewhere around 800, 900 to 1,000 years. You cannot live like this anymore ever since the flood. What the flood did, brothers, all the water that fell upon the earth, according to those books we are reading, brothers, it's not the same. The water that are above the firmament are not the same water that are here. That's why everything, when that water fell upon the earth, when the Mosai cracked the sky open, the water that was killed upon the earth killed everything that are in the sea. It killed all the animals that are in the sea. And the water that fell upon the earth was some kind of like, it was a water that shrank things. The earth was known was way big, was still big, way bigger, brothers. We are reduced to microscopic size. The earth is a hell of a lot bigger. So the atmosphere that Adam Eve breathed was much richer. The oxygen was a hell of a lot flush and nutrient, much more. They had much more good stuff in it. They had zero pollution. So Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel, pure. They were big. They were huge. They were like, even they were impure, but they were a hell of a lot bigger. You're talking about big ass people, and the books that we're reading, brothers, okay, they were pure. So once the Mosai sent the flood did not do actually destroy things, and that's it. The flood actually messed up everything. The atmosphere dropped by from 100% to 1%. What you're breathing now, it's only 1% of what that pure atmosphere used to be. The Mosai shortened the life of men so things can move faster, you can die faster, so he can make his will faster and then come back everything to the beginning. That's why you see that fire over there in South Africa, and that flat top mountain. It wasn't a flat top mountain, brothers. It was a tree. And the head of that tree used to reach the firmament. That's how big those trees used to be. We are nothing but little microscopic, little grain of salt. The Titan, they used to be the size of normal human, and then used to be the size of a little grain of salt. They would just crush you in their hands. But the Mosai killed all of them. They turned them into mountains, like that dragon in the desert. That happened way before. Yeah. So that's what they said here. Most of the book that you read, that's what they said. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when he get to the side inside of the temple, he saw something. Now, brothers, this is them giving the description. This is not mine. But my dear mother, this is page 190. But my dear mother, I must not linger at the feet of the Sphinx. Leaving the temple, we ascend one of two broad stairs case, and mounting a succession of terraces adorned with statue of gods. The vast bulk of the Sphinx being in our right, we reach a noble stone platform behind the image upon which stand an ancient figure. And coarse marble worn by age of Caprice the Great. Who the hell is Caprice? Caprice or Caprice the Great, he stamped a sea dragon under his feet. Now they're talking about sea dragon, brothers. Those things really do exist. He stamped a sea dragon under his feet, Caprice. And upon his cape head and his beak of galley with the head of the wings of a dove. And these symbols, dear mother, behold again the representation of the deluge and the dove that guided the ship which held Kephren or Kefries and his father, the god Noachis or Noah. All right. So they make a presentation here. They say that, you see, brothers, when it comes to story like that, they only acknowledge the line of Shem. They don't. They know of Ham and Japheth. They don't acknowledge them. Shem, he is known as Kepris, I believe, the god of the son of Noah. I believe Ham is Typhon, and Japheth, they have another name for him. Oh, 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah, we done. 10 o'clock. We done. That's like the stuff. And this is page 191. Tomorrow we're going to do lesson 16. And then he's at the pyramid. Tomorrow we're going to give the description of the pyramid, who built them, what is inside of the pyramids, how did they get there, and how long they were there, how they were built, who ordained it, and why, on top of what they are built. And we find out, brothers, when we read this chapter, we like all the stuff we've been learning connect 100% with what we're gonna learn tomorrow about the pyramids. That was about the Egyptian burial, their stuff, when you die and stuff. Now it goes further. It says, Sesostris was talking to the priest. He would the mother say, "Mom, the Egyptians myth, which means word of mouth, is very similar to ours. Instead of the Phoenician have the story of Noah too, the deluge. He said instead of a white dove came in to the ark, it was a raven." Okay, a raven, a bird, a black bird, a raven came in. The Egyptians say it's a dove. And brothers, tomorrow, if the Most allow, you're going to find out some very interesting things about the pyramids according to this. Okay, so now they worship Noah and his son Shem as gods, and we know Melchizedek is no stranger of being worshipped as a god. Remember in the book of the throne of David, and it is said the way they find out about Melchizedek, aka Shem, the priests of Baal, they were worshiping a bunch of stones and then statues, and one night they saw a light come out of the sky, and the light landed. And then when they see the light landed in front of one of the statues, they saw a little baby, and the little baby sit down and then start talking about the Most High. And the little baby taught them how to properly worship the true God. So that's what happened. So they explain all those things. Now you understand why those people. Remember, Noah died 100. What age? Noah died 900 years. How long did Noah die? Noah and Shem, Ham, Japheth, those guys died hundreds of years later. They were the only people after that era that could live that long. The moment Noah died somewhere on like 900 years. Then after that, nobody ever died that well. Old man Enoch is still alive. So 960 years. Shem died around that. Well, Noah died first, and then I think Shem, and then and stuff like that. So it is said right after the flood. The flood did not brought just the water only, brothers. The flood brought a lot of things. Yeah, Methuselah is the oldest living man, 969, but his son Enoch still lived to this day. Enoch is thousands of years old. Enoch is still there. Believe it or not, Enoch saw all of those. He sent us a letter and say, "I see you guys." Remember in the book of Enoch, in the last chapter, he was talking to us. He said, "I see you. Stay in righteousness. Don't be tempted. Your reward is great." Enoch saw everything before it happened. He saw the birth of YAHAWAH, the birth of everything. He wrote everything down. Enoch saw all of those things. So that's what happened. Now you got Enoch, and Enoch and Elijah, those guys are still there. They are thousands of years old. They are still young because the timeline is not as the same as ours. You know, like a day in heaven with the Most High. If you go to the Most High, you spend a 30 days vacation in heaven. When you come back here, the earth is 30,000 years old. Everybody you ever met, you ever known, died thousands of years ago. If you go spend a day with the Most High, you come back here, it's 1,000 years later. You spend an hour with the Most High, it's like 400 years. That's why the Most High punished us for 1 hour of the impious age. 1 hour punishment, brothers, feel like eternity. You go to do the Most High, you spend an hour with the Most High talking. When you come back here, it's 400 years later. It's 2,424, 21. That's how amazing the Most High is. When the Most High said, I'm going to give you 1,000 years of rest, he's going to give you his 1,000 years of rest, which we calculated somewhere around 365 million years of rest. Man. It's crazy. One day with the Most High, brothers. One day. Oh, crap. 10 o'clock. Let me read some of the stuff that the people said. All right. I have received an email. The beloved brothers, all of you that sent your mail and the PO box, we receive all of them. All right, I got this letter here. Let me read it. Well, it's like an email. It's from the beloved brother sister Karen Graham. Wait, that's Karen Mary. So, hi, Big Levi, Karen Mary here. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for everything you do. I have sent prayer requests a number of times, and you always been faithful to pray for me, and I am forever grateful. Yesterday was my final court date, and it went positively. Another chapter in my book that is finally behind me. I am not nearly where I desired to be in this walk, but I do have many miles behind me, and hopefully it won't be long before I no longer have to walk alone. Your channel is a constant in my life that I am truly grateful to the Most High for I have family member that is out of control, the kind what the Boys, if you don't know about the Boys, we went to the Boys, will take out. I pray for him that he will one day change life. Wasn't supposed to be this way for him, but unfortunately he chose this path. You said don't waste your prayers, and I agree. But this person is my oldest son. I have turned him over to the Most High, and I have to accept whatever happens as a result. His path was chosen by him. So I ask you to pray the protection of all the righteous who encounter him, that they are protected and not subject to his wrath. If I had 10,000 tongues, I would be grateful with everyone. Merci beaucoup, which means thank you very much. Thank you, touche. Thanks forever grateful. Well, that's another language. To the Most High for keeping me through the storms of life. May we soon be free and learn to treat her with him very well and treasure it forever. Thanks, Big Levi. Peace. So, all praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters. Another sister have victory in the courtroom. Again, we told you, brothers, our prayers are powerful. And the sister surrender her son to the Most High. If your son is not behaving, your daughter is not behaving, surrender it to the Most High. Just leave it to the Most High and accept whatever result he will choose. So that's what that is, brothers. Just surrender it and then let the Most High do his work. Like I told you, brothers, we don't know how to do Hish. We don't know anything. We don't know anything, brothers. We don't know anything. We think we know how to raise kids and do stuff. You don't. Surrender this kid to the Most High. When I say this, brothers, I'm not saying abandon this child. That's not what I'm saying, brothers. When I say surrender this kid, just pray and tell the Most High, I give you my son. I give you my daughter. Do as you will. Just tell the Most High I can't. I thought I could have changed this person. I can't. It's all in your hand. Remember, the Most High, each of us is a pawn and the Most High chess table. Your son, your daughters, they're all part of prophecy. They all hold a testimony. They all gonna go in front of the Most High, and the Most High gonna ask them, "Why didn't you listen to your mom, your dad, when she told you about me?" And they can't lie. They'll say, "Well, I went to church. My pastor told me you don't exist. Worship Jesus, and I follow my pastor because that's what he taught me." If they innocently don't know. But if in their heart they say, "Yeah, I know my mom was doing this and stuff. I just don't like her. I don't like my dad. I don't," and the Most High going to take judgment. To whom he's going to take judgment. Like today, they say justice was served. They think they did a great job of that stuff they pulled today. They say, "Oh, we did a great job," as if that's going to stop that unstoppable force. The Most High cannot be stopped, brethren. You cannot stop the Most High. His judgment is already set in the heavenly tablet. When you look up the heavens, everything is already set. There's nothing you can do. Brothers, we must take some time and meditate and tell the Most High, "Thank you for waking me up." I personally don't know why the Most High wake me up. I don't know why. I could have been asleep right now. I don't know why, man. I never questioned the Most High. I said, "Why did you wake?" For having mercy upon me and bring me into your flock and bring me into your team and make me one of yours. Thank you. I don't know why you do this. I haven't done anything in my life that I deserve this. You do it for your own reason. Whatever that reason is, thank you. Whenever you want to show it to me, which most I will do, he will reveal to you. Brothers, let me tell you something. We don't have another 200, well, not even that 200. We don't have another 30 years, brothers. We don't have another 20 years, brethren. Brothers, I'll go further and say we don't have another 10 years, barely 5 years. Brothers, if somebody, brothers, right now at this moment, you choose not to wake up, you choose to believe that in the future, far future, not only like not only things gonna get back to normal, and you going to rule too. You see, a lot of our people, brothers, they like what's going on. Well, right now they don't like it, but back then they find out what they had back then. A lot of our people were way too proud. They had great job. They were working great job, and they like, damn, lost that gig. I want everything to go back to normal. That's why you see those pastors all raving and ranting. Oh, hey, take the facts, man. You know, we gotta get things back. So we need your ass back in the church and take the back of the beast and stuff like that. And bring the money. Yeah, all praises to the Most High, brother Torch. All praises. They want you to go back to that life so they can kill making that money. And then when it's something happen in the TV, brothers, they will just turn off the TV, the news. They will just ignore our brothers. There is no such thing as normal, bro. It's just how could we just sit there and then keep telling people things? I think, brothers, to be truthful with you, I think we are the only people that think things never going to go back to normal for real. For real. You see, the camps really don't care about that, man. Camps want things to go back to normal so they can find more people in the street to argue with them. A lot of camps want things to go back to normal so they can get a full congregation inside and swagger jack them. Now, a lot of those people out there, brothers, they are finding out like, yo, I had a good deal going on. Brothers, everything is shutting down and it will never go back to normal, brothers. Those people, they see what's going on in that Black Sea. And tomorrow, brothers, tomorrow is the 21st. They were giving the US 6 days. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. The verdict was placed today, which is come somewhat positive for us. Tomorrow is the last day for those people to withdraw whatever old man bear, that big bear told them to get off their places. Brothers, in India, brothers, they got this, I think yesterday, no, today, they had the highest they ever record, the cases they ever recorded affecting young people. In Brazil, they are telling the women to delay pregnancy. What the hell that mean? How does one delay pregnancy? How do you stop the baby to grow? What? Delay pregnant because things are really, really bad, brothers. We'll see what will happen tomorrow, brothers. Wednesday. We're going to study Wednesday. Thursday and Friday is going to be our calling day, okay? Thursday and Friday, it's our calling day. You may call to give your thoughts, your dreams, and what you think is going on and things like that. So after that, we're going to continue study from Sunday until we're done with this book. It's a pretty big book. Okay, we're going to do all those things that we can do. Yeah, like what is it, man? Like how do you delay pregnancy? What is this? Yeah, I seen people take the job because they want to go to the casino, and then some of them want to work for certain place. Brothers, remember those people try everything to reduce our population. They do everything to reduce our population, but it's a blessing that it's upon us. You cannot number us. Our people, we multiply like crazy. The more you afflict us, the more we multiply. The more we multiply. Our people are all over the world, man. Our people are all over. Yeah, some people take that thing for money, man. Free donuts, free pizza. Some people will do anything. That the most foolish thing, man. Yes, brothers. Yeah, our people get pregnant just like that. Our men can just give all women a high five. Instantly, her belly go bigger than mine. We're all very fertile people. Yeah, it's unstoppable. You cannot stop our people. We'll just have kids all over. Yeah, that's why they have to like always put a bunch of garbages in your food and stuff like that. It never did work. It's still here. Yeah, that's what that is. They are all people, man. They did everything to take the land. They can't. They cannot take this blessing. It's just you cannot. The blessing has to be bestowed. All right, that's so the kids are playing with that alarm thing out there. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. It's a lot of things, brothers. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, the beloved brother of Big Judah just uploaded a video today. Two videos. The one from the previous one, I believe the one that says 3 years or 3 years, not 3 years and a half, but not 7 years. This video go deep, go really deep, and you may see that I've slowed down a little bit for the video because the YouTube been harassing me and stuff. And I know that fire in Africa. I wanted to make a video, but it will be like 18 and over because you show fire. There's fire there. You got so people are dying. Yeah. So a lot of things happen, brothers. And I'll tell you to fast, pray, repent, repeat. Surrender yourself, submit, bend the knee of your heart, uncover your heart, brothers, and let the Most High see everything. Ask for purification, purify yourself. Do as little sin as you can do a day. But the moment you wake up, you breathe, you're sinning. For you walking around, you're a sinner. But brothers, there are different level of sin. Okay, back then when we were in when the Most High, when we were in the, when we were together, when we were separate, we sinned very little. But once we start mixing with scumbag and stuff, yeah, South Africa is burning down real bad. That's the second plague of the apocalypse of Abraham. It's burning very, very bad. I believe Mexico just finished it up burning. Or is it still going over there? So, anyway, brethren, by the power of the Most High vested in me, I'm leaving all of you in peace, brothers and sisters. Be at peace. I'm gonna leave you with a little music. Oh boy, my phone died. Oh boy. It won't play music under 15 seconds. Under 15 minutes. Oh boy, 15%. So, brothers, I'll see you tomorrow for the prayer, and then we will study the pyramids and what's going on in there and what they are buried inside. May the Most High reign forever. May YAHAWAH reign forever. Shalom. And I'll see you folks tomorrow.